Not easy.
Not really? Okay, good. You are, have you ever participated before?
Yeah, we did the very first one.
Okay, way back when. All right, so I've only been here for 2 years, and it kind of is, you know, like all programs, when it ever changes, everything goes down, and then now we're trying to bring it back up, right? So it's a lot different from that, which was more, everybody came in, there was judging all day long, it was a huge event, and
Yeah, when they switched over to the judging is when they killed it, in my opinion. The very first few, it was an expo. They did, you set up a booth,
right,
and people just wandered around and checked it out, and no one knew who was the judge. So someone came up to you, you talked to them, you sold them your product, they walked away, cool, nifty, neat, and you never knew which one you spoke to, who was a judge who supported you. And then they left that, and they went to come behind closed doors, sell us your product, walk out. And then the next team walked in and got judged. When it was the expo, the kids loved it, it was great, it was interesting, because then you could ditch your booth and go look at other people's booths. It was kind of like a World's Fair kind of thing.
I've seen it, so again, I wasn't there when it started like that. It kind of seemed more to me like science fair, where
Yeah,
everybody
kind of like
has their
that,
thing
yeah.
and walk around, and then
Yeah,
the judges would go around instead
But
of
the
one
judges
big
were
judging.
anonymous, was the great part. So you didn't know if it was a parent, a spectator, or a judge who came up to ask you
See,
questions.
and since I've only been there 2 years, and other people who have been there, I ask all kinds of questions to see how it was before, but again, it has changed now, so I'm gonna tell you how it is now. See if you guys are interested, I need more participants. My eventual goal is to, and I don't have it anywhere on these slides, and I'm really not good with PowerPoint, so I'm gonna go back and forth, so please forgive me. But my intention is to try and make it more competitive among the different regions, and I think the more fair way to do that would be the weaker regions. But that's something in the future. Anyways, Arrowhead Center, anybody know what Arrowhead Center is at Nmsu? Okay, so it's our mission to create economic opportunity in the region through innovation, entrepreneurship. We have lots of different programs. We are constantly doing things. Next week, there may still be some space available. They're having a huge 3-day pitch startup event up here. I was in there. So, this is where we work all over the state. We have business accelerators. We do a lot of sprints. K-12 entrepreneurship, that's me. University student entrepreneurship. We have sister sites called Studio G with a lot of the universities throughout the state. And that is for college students. And then we do economic-based studies. Well, Kramer does them, I don't. He's smart. All right. Innovature has been around for a while. It was created in 2005. We have different programs. We have Innovature Junior, which is where I do little workshops about entrepreneurship with elementary students. We have Camp Adventure for middle and high school, and then we have our Adventure Challenge. But what we're really trying to do is instill in them the entrepreneurial mindset. So, see, I told you I was going to jump around. Sorry, there's my Innoventure slide. So, for Innoventure Junior, what I do is I contact schools, and if they're close enough, I will go in person and teach the entire school and do all the different grades in the classes with little things like that. Or I Zoom. Camp is really more in the summertime or for breaks and things like that. It is, we have a curriculum, we give it to you. You can do it even as an after-school program if you wanted to. But that is where kids are taking their own product and then selling it eventually in the marketplace. And there's work with that goes along with it. And we give that free to whoever wants to do it in their community. So like Deming does this every year, where they have their Camp Adventure. And the students come in, they teach them all kinds of different business concepts throughout the week, how to identify your target market, marketing, designing a logo, and at the end, they will have your product for sale and local market, the mall, wherever. And then of course there's an Adventure Challenge. So that's what we're going to talk about today more so. An Adventure Challenge, it is a competition for 6th through 12th grade. We do separate middle school versus high school, so middle school is not competing with high school, it's middle school against middle school, high school against high school. And, I'm sorry, I think I have a blank slide there. open to all students in New Mexico and the El Paso region, where they are challenged to think like an entrepreneur. What you do is you, as advisors, have a team. You can have as many teams as you want. Teams are anywhere from 2 to 5. I'm jumping ahead of myself again, I'm sorry about that. Let me finish this one first, then I'll go to that one. There are 3 rounds scheduled throughout the year. And you're doing challenges this year, right?
Yes.
Okay. There are 3 rounds scheduled throughout the year. The first round is going on right now. There are still 2 weeks left. There is still time to participate. The next round will start in October, and they are all 4 weeks long. Then the 3rd round will be in January. And so you can participate in any of the rounds. You can participate in all of the rounds. Teams are anywhere from 2 to a maximum of 5 students. And let me go to the next one then. All right. Once you register, on the first day of each round, I email everybody the toolkit. The toolkit stays exactly the same except for the theme. So a theme is included in each one, but this is for them to go through and use. It is 33 pages long. They are not submitting this. This is to help them put their pitch presentation together for judging. The theme this year, or not this year, for this round, is personal portable shelters. So last year, some of the themes were, let's see, we've had sustainable packaging, so design a better package for something that you buy in the grocery store that is recyclable or edible or less material, less waste, things like that. That was one of the themes, but there's a different theme for each round, okay? And different thing for each round, and at the end, by the end of the day, what they do is they upload their 5-minute video pitch, and then we grade them, not grade them, but judge them. There's a rubric in the back for all the things that they need to address, and then the winners are announced, and I send prizes to your school for the 1st and 2nd place winners. The 1st and 2nd place winners from every single round are then invited to come to Nmsu for the final challenge, which is the 1-day challenge. This year, it'll be March 26th. So, you have to win one of the rounds to be invited. So, there's the competition part there. Everything that you need is in the toolkit. I did print one out if you want to come and look at it later when we're done. But it goes through everything that they will need to talk about after they build their prototype. And their prototype building is only using recyclable materials. Don't go buy anything, it's junk. There's a whole list in here of what they can and cannot use. Cardboard, plastic, anything that's garbage. That's what they're allowed to do. They're not allowed to buy things. So during their pitch, we want everybody to speak, and these are the things that they need to talk about that they will be judged on again. The rubric is in here. All right, so I have just a couple of pictures very quickly. This is all the junk I collect throughout the entire year that I drag to Corbett Center. I have people helping me. We have like 2-3 truckloads full of junk, and then at the final challenge, students are allowed to bring like one small bag of their own recyclables. If anybody know Kate Sanchez?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh man, she brings stuff when she comes. In fact, one of her teams is gonna be on here somewhere. But these are some pictures of the kids, and that right there is our winner for not this last school year, but the year before. There's the Tiny Ducks. They won 2nd place, I think, like that. But for their pitch, then what they do is they come up and they do the pitch, and again, we have 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place winners, middle school and high school. All right. There's all the winners, Kate's in there somewhere. I have prizes for the kids. Last year, they got a choice of a laptop or an iPad. That was the top prize. So The year before that, it was just laptops, and then we changed it this year that they could choose what they wanted. And so then they're specifically ordered for who wins and things like that, for first place winners. Okay, that was just everybody who participated. And so we go through and we want them to learn what an entrepreneur is. So I'm gonna go ahead and fast. A lot of times we think entrepreneurs are the people like Elon Musk, right? But they are people who may own their own business, but the biggest thing is that they are people who create new ways to solve problems, local and new. Also, could be people who might invent a brand new product or system for doing things. More importantly, we want them to have the entrepreneurial mindset because this is what businesses are looking for today. So this does go along with anything they may want to do in life. The one thing that you guys like doing activities? Yes? Okay. I wasn't sure. So this is one of the things I like to do, just a little intro. So we all know some of these entrepreneurs on here, right? Here's some older ones over there, Vanderbilt, Wrigley Jr. But a lot of times we don't realize that regular everyday people are entrepreneurs as well. So I do like to share a little bit that right there's my uncle. He is retired now, but he used to, when he had his own business, he had an installation business, but he's also an artist. So again, entrepreneur because he's selling his art, right? I did not realize that my dad was also an entrepreneur. When I grew up, everybody in my family was self-employed. It's really an entrepreneur, right? So anyways, my dad, he was a carpenter. He built our house. That was the house I grew up in. He did custom cabinetry, but again, entrepreneur because that was his business, right? I like this picture too because again, more of my family. This picture's about 100 years old. The man in the middle is my great-grandpa, Philip. So, he had a grocery store. Again, entrepreneurs all day long. You don't have to have the next big, huge idea to be an entrepreneur. Just having an entrepreneurial mindset. So, there we go. Does anybody in here have their own business? Yeah? Come here, Richard. Oh, what? I'm a real estate agent. There you go, right? You have to be, right? A lot of people, I don't know. Does anybody identify with any of those skills over there in that side? You probably do that a lot in your own classrooms, right? But again, it goes across all industries, right? All right, we're gonna do a little brainstorming now. This is just the fun part because we really just came to talk about challenge. Oh, I went too far. I went too far. Brainstorming. All right, I'm gonna do that while I pass these out because I was on my. I'm gonna do it like this and just have to pass it back. There's 4 there, 2, 3, 4. Now, I did not redo this for you. You can do whatever. I'm not collecting these things. I do this with the high school kids. Also, if anybody needed me to do any doing with their class to get them on board with doing this, I am more than happy to do that too. And I do this little activity with them. So what I do is I start by asking them, all right, you have to think of a problem to solve. So I'm going to give you some silly problems first. Let's pretend that you wanted to jump higher. Would anybody like to jump higher? I would like to jump higher to get my cabinets up there, right? So we drag the ladder out. So when we brainstorm, we just come up with all different ideas and solutions. Even if they're silly, we just do them anyway, right? Okay. So I know, I already messed up, so I showed you my first slide. So let's pretend we wanted to invent something that would help us jump higher. So we decide to make shoes, and we make them out of badminton. Right? Practical, but at least it's an idea, right? It gets the juices flowing. So before you do anything on there, don't do anything yet. Let's say we decide we're not going to do those because it looks really uncomfortable and they're really scratchy and everything. But we want to still keep the theme of making shoes to help us jump higher. So now we're going to make them out of tennis balls. Most of the time the kids say do the chocolate, and I'm like, yeah, I'll do chocolate. All right, these probably look comfier, but probably not going to do pigeon. So let's switch to a new problem. How many of you like ketchup with your French fries? I do. Okay. The problem now, though, is that when you go in, they don't give you enough ketchup. They give you like 2 packets. You can't even grab them anymore, right? They're stingy. You have to go and ask. So to solve that problem, we are going to make condiment shorts so we can take our condiments with us.
That's true.
It would solve the problem, right? Okay. All right, last one, then we'll get to where we're gonna be thinking and you can do your little activity. All right. Anybody hungry? Right? Always, the kids are always hungry when I ask them this question. So, how about to solve that problem, we decided to create the sandwich fest so we can take our food with us. Right? There we go. Now, you might not need these many sandwiches unless you're entrepreneurial and decide to sell them to your friends, right? And then make some money. But, excuse me, it would solve the problem, right? So, different ways of thinking of things, there you go. Anyways, getting to our fun little activity. So now you're gonna think like an entrepreneur and think of a product or service to help fix a problem. Now you get to choose the problem. I'm not going to choose the problem for you, but I'm going to do mine. How many of you have trouble waking up in the morning? I do. Good. So I would like to solve that problem to help people wake up easier. And also this is specifically for one of my sons. His name is Nick. That child could not get out of bed to save his life. We had to physically go in and shake him awake. Okay? We had the loudest alarm clock. The neighbors could hear him. Could hear the alarm clock. He would not wake up. As soon as you walked in, shook him awake, boom, he's awake. So I can't do that all the time. Sometimes he's got to get up early. Sometimes I have to get up early. True story. I had to work for a half day on a Saturday one time. He had to get up. I got to come home early. Guess his alarm was still going off. Guess he was still in bed. Okay. So to solve that problem, the problem I want to solve is people who have trouble hearing the alarm when it goes off. So you guys can think of your own problem that you want to solve and try. To solve that problem, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new alarm clock that has a robotic arm on top. That when the alarm goes off, it's going to gently shake the person awake. So once you have figured out, did somebody just say smack us about?
Yeah.
No smacking allowed. We don't want any trophy noses or anything like that, right? All right. Then you have to decide what you're going to name your product. Mine is going to be called the Wake and Shake 2.0 because it tells you exactly what it does. It wakes you and it shakes you. 2.0 because the earthquakes and magnitude, right? 2.0 is a chance. So maybe in the future I might want to have a 5.0, maybe a 10.0. That might be the smacking one, right? All right. Then you have to think about how will your product work. What will your service do? Describe it so when the alarm goes off, my robotic arm will gently shake the person awake. And then you have to identify your target market. Who are you selling to? You have to identify your target market in order to do marketing and everything else. Not everybody's going to buy your product. My husband gets up to crack it on like that. He doesn't need an alarm clock. I need this, right? He's not going to buy it, but he might buy it for me. Fine, take it. So my target market is going to be people who have difficulty hearing the alarm when it goes off. Then I also thought, what about for people who are starting to get hard of hearing? Can they hear the alarm go off? Maybe they have to have it super loud. It can startle you, having that go off, especially if you're a heavy sleeper. So wouldn't it be nice to have somebody gently shake you awake? Could be used for different aspects. Well, okay, it can be a little creepy, but. All right, and then how are we going to market your product? So I'm going to use social media to market mine. So think about that. So these are all very quick aspects of what they are asked to do for when they do the Intervention Challenge, except I give them a theme. The theme is given so that it's a little bit more level-based, and we're not judging their creativity or their prototype build or maybe some of the materials that they were able to use or things like the research that they did. We're basing it off of the rubric, which just has them explain their prototype and how it's going to work. It does not need to be a working prototype. I can have some pictures, I will show you some pictures, but we're probably gonna run it over time. And then you have to price your product. I'm gonna sell mine for $100. I think it might be worth it for a robotic arm. And if it doesn't work, I'll break it if you want, so I can discount it. There you go. All right. Anyways, that's just a really quick thing. So I do this as a little workshop with, like I said, the high school kids to get them interested in the challenge and things like that, because it is more involved when they do the challenge. Some of the things that they do have to talk about are, they have to demonstrate their prototype. They have to explain their value add. Why are we buying it? Tell me why you need to buy your product. They have to identify their target market. They need to identify, it's just Spanish on the other side, their price. They do have to talk about their distribution plan. How are they going to distribute it? Are they going to be online sales only? Are they going to try and get it into Walmart? And then some of the thought process behind that. And then designing their logo and how it fits in with their company and things like that. That's all they're being judged on for the Adventure Challenge.
It's like a mini Shark Tank.
I'm sorry?
It's like a mini Shark Tank.
It's like mini Shark Tank. It's like mini Shark Tank. And then at the end, what they do is they upload their video to Google. Upload their video to YouTube. They do it unlisted, and then you submit it in the Google form. And all the information is in the toolkit. All the links, I keep the links all the time. So the rounds this year, this round will end September 13th. So there's still time if you have a motivated team to do it. But the next round will start October 14th. If you're interested in doing challenge, I do ask you do need to register, because otherwise I don't know if who wants to participate. And have the students register and everything like that. And then on the first day of each round opening is when I email the toolkits. I email them to the advisors and ask that you give them to your students. I don't know who's got what, but Crucis is got a lockdown on emails that I can't contact the students at all. So just to avoid that, I just email the advisors and then they can email it to the students. I figure if you email me then it's in your, you know how you can go and do the trusted source or whatever, because all the districts are different. But again, like I said, the toolkit is all here. There are even videos for them to go and watch about what is the entrepreneurial mindset. You don't necessarily have to teach anything from here, just advise and kind of guide them, okay? You can make it a whole unit if you wanted to. But there's worksheets in here for them to fill out, but it walks them through all of the different topic areas for what they will need to speak about. And there's even worksheets in here to help with pricing. There's even one small activity on ethics. There's a little business one on ethics in here. Marketing, again, logo. There's one section in here, defining your company's values and their message. That's added in here because it kind of goes along sometimes with why they created their product and things like that. But it's not something they're judged on. And then there's even examples of different types of logos and how they're used in space. And distribution plan, and then all the instructions for what to do to upload it is all in the back as well. So, with links. And then it just gets uploaded on the Arrowhead website. So, yeah, I can't even show you that. It's like, oh, Wi-Fi. How did I miss this? Sorry. Arrowhead Center. So programs, adventure. And then scroll down, you can do middle school right here. And you register here and you submit there when you're ready to do it. So you just click register and then I get the Google form and send it to you. I also have does anybody come up with anything cool that they want to solve the world's problems with? Yeah. I've had a couple of teachers that they've done really interesting things when I do this with them. One lady had an apple farm apple orchard, and she wanted to come up with something that looked like an umbrella underneath, so it would catch the apples before they could, that wouldn't fall to the ground. So they wouldn't bruise and everything, and I thought, okay, good. I had another teacher that was really into backpacking, and he said he thought about this for a long time. He was trying to figure out how to make it happen. But he was tired of his backpacks breaking, or having to throw out a backpack because the zipper broke. So he was trying to come up with a magnet zipper that would stay together. So ideas are all over the place. So, anyways, it's almost 4. Thank you for listening. I hope you sign up for your challenge. If you have any questions, let me know. And like I said, there are still 2 more rounds. One other question people always ask is, can they participate in more than 1 round? Yes, you may. If you happen to win a round and still want to participate for more practice, you can. If your team happens to win that round, then we choose another team. So you can't win more than 1 round, but you can participate in more than 1 round. Does that make sense? Yeah. And like I said, the theme right now, this round is personal portable shelter. We chose this round because, I don't know, if anybody picked up in the news in Las Cruces, but it's now illegal to have a shopping cart. So, the ordinance doesn't go into effect until October 1st, I believe. But we've had some rogue employees from grocery stores going around and throwing things on carts and leaving belongings everywhere and taking the carts back because these stores will get fined.
So I don't see why you need an ordinance to say it's illegal to have a shopping cart when it was illegal to steal that $500 to $700 shopping cart at this place.
Well, you can talk to Las Cruces City Council if you would like. That is not my thing. But yes, we now have an ordinance against that. So I thought.
Cruise around and charge them for grand theft for having a shopping cart.
I don't come up here very often, but we stopped for lunch just right down the street. There were a lot of people who probably could have used a personal portable shelter device to carry all their belongings in. So it's becoming more of a problem. Anyways, thank you very much.